In this exercise, we're going to do a few different things. We are primarily building a report on soccer matches, but through that, we are going to learn how to create a semantic model or a data model using related tables in Power BI. We're going to learn how to calculate a new column using DAX. We're also going to take a look at how to drill down and drill through information in Power BI. So the data set that I'm providing here is two different sheets in an Excel workbook. Both of these sheets are already set up as tables, so they can be pulled straight into Power BI. You'll notice one of these sheets here has the home team information along with the match IDs, things like scores, home country, competition country, that kind of thing. And the other sheet is very similar, except it has the away team information. So the first thing we'll do in Power BI from the homepage, instead of going straight to New Report, I'm actually going to go into my workspace, and I'm going to create a new item. And the type of item is a semantic model. I'm going to load this in from that Excel workbook. And here's our two tables here. In fact, it actually looks like it recognized those just from the sheet names, which is nice because the data was relatively clean. Hit create. And once it's loaded in, it's going to try and send us to creating a new blank report. But we actually don't want to do this yet, so I'm going to back out into my workspace again. I'm going to quickly sort by my edit date just so I can find that model that I imported. And if I select it from my workspace, I get this work area. And this is where we can edit how that information is linked together and edit our data model. So we can do that from Open Data Model. And you can see here, these are those two tables that it loaded in. And it actually already set us up with a connection here. So you can see that it identified the match ID as a similar column in both tables. And it said, I can tell that both of these tables are referring to the same thing when they say match ID. And we're able to link information together in that way. If working with other data, for some reason, this isn't able to do that, or it doesn't do it automatically, I'm just going to switch over into my edit mode, select this link, and delete that relationship. Here's how you can do that manually. So I'm going to go ahead and select Manage Relationships, create a new relationship, and then I'll select the table this is from. I can create it from the away table to the home table. That's totally fine. And then we'll select the matching columns in here. These are really long column names, so you have to be careful with what you're selecting here. All of these are competition 11 ID. We actually want the match ID. So I've selected match ID on both of these tables. You can see this is a one-to-one relationship. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And it's created that relationship. Now this is saved automatically, so now I can go back to home or create. I'm going to build a new report from that published semantic model. Create a blank report. And now you'll see that we have our two tables over here, and it will be able to tell that the this information is linked together based on that match ID in either one of those tables. So let's quickly take a look at how the home and away scores average out over the course of each week in the competition. So I'm going to create a line chart. I'm going to add match week onto the x-axis. And then I'm going to add the home score and the away score onto my y-axis. Now this is by default summing these. I actually want the average. And then we could rename this and tidy this up, which we would do if this wasn't trying to keep this demo kind of short. So the other thing I'm going to do here really quickly is add in some filters so that we can see this by team name. So I'm going to go ahead and add a slicer. And in that slicer, I'm going to put the away team name on this one. And I'm just going to change this to a drop down just to keep this a little neater. I'll go ahead and copy that and make an identical one that has the home team names. So this is interesting, but it's not particularly detailed enough to tell us how these teams are doing from week to week yet. So we're actually going to add another page. And I want to see how these teams are stacking up against each other. So I'm going to create a column chart. And on the y-axis, I'm going to put both the home score and the away score. And then I'm going to put the home team names on the x-axis. Now, to see how these compare matched up against each other team, we can use what is called a drill down. So watch what happens if I put the away team names also on the x-axis. So I'm going to drop those right under the home team names. And at first, this creates a super messy column chart with two sets of information on the x-axis. So if I hover over these, you can see, for example, this is when this team is the home team, and then vertical teams here are when they're the away teams. This is pretty messy. So actually, the first thing I want to do is, well, this is fine actually. What I want to do is turn this into a drill down chart. So this icon here, the down arrow, lets me turn this graph into a drill down feature graph. So now what I can do is click the up arrow, and you'll see it says home team here. Watch what happens if I select athletic club. Now it's showing me when athletic club is the home team, here's how they've matched up against all the away teams. So the top level of information here is whatever is on top on the x-axis. And then if we drill down in the next level of the hierarchy, we get the next level of information, the away team here. So all of the home team information, drill down, all of the away team information. So this is pretty helpful and pretty cool. The other thing we can do is we can allow users to jump to this from another page using what's called drill through. So if I were to, on this chart, add in the home team name into this field down here, drill through fields here, and then turn on the cross report filter. What I could do if I switch into my reading view, I'll save this first. So if I start on my home page, anywhere where I can select the home team, I can right click. I get this new option called drill through. It'll take me to page 2, and it'll already have that information selected at the top level. And then I can go ahead and click on it and drill down into that next level there for the away teams. So pretty interesting. We could also do this easily for matches by the away teams. So I could duplicate this whole page and then just quickly swap the order of those home and away teams, as well as what we are filtering the cross report filter by. The last thing I want to show here is how we can create new columns in DAX. So I'm going to go back to our data model. So I'm going to open data model, and that'll take me back to that semantic model that we created, and jump into edit mode. So this is interesting in terms of seeing what the scores are for these matchups, but it would be really cool if we could see how many matches each team won. And other than manually counting right now, we really don't have a way to do that. So it would be nice if we could create a new column for each one of these matches that tells us the name of the winner. We could do that in Excel with an Excel formula. We could do it in Power Query. This is just another place where you can manipulate information. And we are going to, I'll just do it on the home team table, create a new column. Going to go ahead and expand this. And similar to Excel, Microsoft will try and give you some hints and some help as you're typing here. And this is operating on the entire column, and we can kind of look at both tables. So the easiest thing to do, honestly, is just like if you know you are trying to do a specific task, look up that task and see how other people have solved it. And the more you work in DAX, the more comfortable you will get with it. So the first thing this wants us to do is to name the column. So I'll just say winner equals, and then I'm going to do an if statement. So we need to say if the home team score is greater than the away team score, this column should show the home team name. So I'm going to start this with if. You'll see it says, hey, we have a formula for that. Do you want us to help you with it? I'm going to go ahead and select it. And then we need to write out this logical test. So I'm going to refer to the home team table by opening with a single quote. That's how we start referring to a table. And then it gives me a list of the columns and tables that it sees in this table that we have selected. So we want to say if the home team score is greater than, and now we want the away team score. But in this table, we don't have the away team scores. We need to get that from that related table that we added to this data model. So we actually need to refer to that by using a related formula. And once we select related, you see that it can find that related table. So if the home team score is greater than the away score, I need to close my related statement, and then it takes me back to the if formula which we are writing. The result, if true, should return the home team's name. So here I can go ahead and put that home team table, home team name. If that is not true, this is what it should return if false. So right now, if we left this as is, if the home team score is greater than the away team score, we'll get the home team name. But as it stands, we won't get the away team name. And we also need to think of the third scenario of what would happen if this were a tie. So we actually need to write another if statement to say if the away team is greater than the home team, give us the away team name. So this is pretty good practice because we're basically writing the same statement again, just reversed. So if, and then we're going to use that related formula again, if the away score is greater than the home team score, give me the related away team name. And then the brackets tell us this is an optional thing to enter in. We're not going to include that. This will just be blank if this is a tie. So first, what will happen is it's going to test this first if statement. If it's false, it'll run through the second if statement. If that's also false, we'll just get a blank return. So I'm going to go ahead and commit this. And then we will create a new table on our sheet just to show you what we did. So we did that on the home team table. So I'm just going to create a new table, I'm going to add in the match ID. And then if I scroll down, here's our new winner column. So you'll see that shows up there. And just to prove or to double check how this is working, I'm also going to add in the home score, the home team name, and then the away score and the away team name. So we can check this. So in this match, Barcelona got 2, Sevilla got 1, Barcelona's the winner. So this would let us create something like a bar chart or a column chart. Oops, I didn't want to do that there. I'm going to create a new one where we can count up all the teams' wins. So in the home table, I'm going to add in the winners on the x-axis, and then the home team name on the y-axis. And you'll see this will show us how many wins each team got over the course of the season. And I could even add in the home team name into the legend here so that it splits that out by color. So I know that was, for all that we covered, relatively pretty fast, but just to show you how to go through this, how to build a data model using related tables, how to use the drill down and drill through features, and how to create a new column to calculate some information using DAX. I hope this serves as a quick guide to that.